Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Alonso, Bibbs, Francis, back with The Flash, episode 3, Things You Can't Outrun.
The metahuman we're looking for can transform himself into a poison gas.
That suit does not make everybody safe. For every person you save, there's going to be somebody you can't.
Okay.
You sound like you're already pissed.
No,
right.
I'm warming to this show. I'm still not down for the lead actor, but
Get over it. You're stuck with him.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm stuck with the Flash on the Flash. They've really got to stop ending every episode the same way.
Oh, I know. Every
It's
episode
gonna
is we've
start
learned a
to become
valuable
a
lesson
joke.
this week. I'll grant you
Every
that.
episode ends with, "You'll find out in time." You know.
It's not even the fact that they ended it. They ended the episode with a crime, but they never followed it up. Like, did no one want to find out why that man just got stabbed and was killed?
Oh, you're thinking last week.
right, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, last week's episodes and this week, why did they not follow up?
That's
with,
true. A major
like a major,
He's been stabbed to death in his office.
I mean,
and no one's
is it Gotham it's turned
talking
into?
about-
The fact that no one's going to chase it up, they just stabbed him and like,
Maybe
whatever.
he's at the bottom of the river and they haven't found him yet. I don't know.
I don't know. So that was kind of.
You guys are mean. I like this show.
No, I'm going to be
Okay.
honest. I really like the show.
Okay.
I think it's a fun aspect of the show. I do like to be nitpicky in shows that have the potential to be
sure,
really great.
Absolutely. Well,
so,
especially when you're watching this many episodes of a show, it's going to be hard not to be nitpicky. Otherwise, what are you going to talk about?
Exactly.
Yeah. So even if you like it, there's stuff.
I am warming up to the Misfits of Science.
This is their episode.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, the flashback was nice.
We need to call them the Misfits of Science.
Oh,
That's good.
absolutely.
I like
That's
that.
that's
That's your
sticking.
new name.
Yes.
That's your new name. You're the Misfits of
I'm
Science.
down for them. I think their backstory is kind of interesting. I'm glad that we have one. Let's not talk about off the table now that Iris has come clean to her dad about dating the partner.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
one less contrived complication to deal with. So yay for that. You know, I don't know. I mean,
Let me tell you what I like about this episode. There's something I like about this episode that I really haven't seen in a lot of other superhero stories, at least not after the initial origin. In this episode, Barry Allen is actually tempted to use his powers selfishly. Yeah. He's actually says, you know, my dad is in jail. He's wrongfully in jail. You and I know it. I could break him out in a flash. And that's tempting. And eventually he has to think about it. It's not even just like, oh, well, it's a fleeting. You never hear Superman say that. You never, it's like, you know, Superman's like, oh, I have all these taxes. I could rob a bank and no one would ever know. You never hear that. And here he's young, he's impetuous, he has all these abilities, and it occurs to him, and he decides to make the right decision. Yeah. And I like that. And I think part of that is a reaction to audiences who may be thinking to themselves, well, why doesn't he just break his dad out of prison? And just reminding them, like, that's a short-term solution to a long-term problem.
I think when it comes to superheroes, you've got this border, but of course it's superheroes, and you got to make them seem relatable as well. And I feel that when I've seen movies such as Batman and Batman aspects of it, I'm drawn in when they make Batman seem like personable and not so much superhero-esque. Like I go back to The Dark Knight. As an example, when he's beating the living shit out the Joker and he's so close to like breaking point, but then he pulls himself back and it shows that he is like everyone else. He has those tendencies, and I feel the same way in this episode with the Flash, is that he has got those tendencies to use his powers to help himself first and try and break out his father, but at the same time he breaks away and he ends up doing the right thing. But I feel, as a viewer, I feel it's more relatable and I can buy into that.
Sure, and I like the idea that just because you have superpowers, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have the entire sort of moral worldview that comes with them. Like you have to build your way up to that and kind of get to a place where, oh yeah, you are using them for the right thing and you are learning the right stuff. And no, that was a cool idea. Did you catch this week's super throwaway gag for DC nerds?
I don't want them to build a museum to me.
Oh, that was one of them.
Oh, what was the other one?
When he and Iris are leaving the movie theater, one of the titles on the marquee is The Rita Farr Story. Wow. She is Elastigirl in Doom Patrol. Thank you!
Nice!
So,
no, I didn't catch that. That's good.
Yeah.
One of these days, I hope I can get that idea of detail when I'm watching it. I'm just like,
I will loan you some comics.
There's a hot girl there, I'm watching.
Yeah.
But then on that aspect of the girl aspect, I go bad on names when it comes to it, and I'm so intrigued.
Iris Allen?
Not Iris, the damsel in distress scientist.
Misfit of Science number one.
Yeah, so I don't buy into her acting. I don't think she seems to me as someone who's really scorned. I'm a sucker for like these emotional aspects of these superhero stories. When I watched Smallville, as much as I didn't like it, I used to like the emotional aspects of it to make them feel like relatable people. Her, I'm not sold on her acting when she's trying to be all upset and distressed at the fact that the Flash might go into the same situation as her late husband or fiance did. I don't know if I'm being nitpicky. I didn't think she's the best actress at it.
I think she got kind of handed a bum deal in terms of her part, because she starts off with baggage.
Yeah.
But unless you watched like the 2 episodes of Arrow she was in last season, and even then she wasn't in them that much, you don't really know her.
Okay.
You don't really know who she was before she lost anything, and therefore she doesn't have any contrast to play off of. She just looks mopey all the time. And there's only so much you can do with it. And it feels like this episode is sort of almost like there's a whole flashback structure showing what happened when the Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're retroactively trying to give everyone
the blanks for her. And of course
for Mystery of Science #2 as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Although, you know, it is that classic thing. They make fun of this even in Hot Shots, I think. It's like whenever anybody has like the elaborate plans they're going to make after the thing happens, you know they're doomed. You know?
Exactly.
As soon as I get done with this Large Hadron Collider, we're going to Fiji, you know. No, you're not.
It's true. But you know what? I'll bet that guy comes back somehow. He vanished in a Large Hadron Collider that made superheroes.
Yeah,
He's
no,
fine.
we've not seen the last of Fiance.
He's either superhero or supervillain. He's fine.
No
She's going to
question.
get used to it. I'm curious about the idea of like this. It raises an interesting question. You know, on Arrow, a lot of the times the villains are either guys who just happen to have really good weapons, or they're killed.
Yeah.
You know, so keeping them locked up is a non-issue. Here, it's like, okay, we don't want the Flash to kill everybody.
Yeah. Right.
It really doesn't work. We got away with it once or twice, but we can't do it. What do we do? And so they have to come up with a supervillain jail over their place of business, which, by the way, how are they making money? Who is paying their paychecks? They're going there every day. Like, no one has, like, that's another thing that happens on Arrow, is like people have to have day jobs. Like, no. Like, here's just like, is Harrison Wells just independently wealthy and just giving them weekly checks?
He's
and like
stealing money from the future.
The guy couldn't do anything. He just went and stabbed someone, and no, an investigation of it. So
he emptied the safe over at Stag, you know.
He bought 50 cents worth of stock in IBM back in 1930, and he's fine. I digress, but like it occurs to me, like, first off, there's definitely going to be a jailbreak episode at the end of the season. That's got to be where they're going, and that's going to be awesome. But also, just who's going to feed them? Who's going to clean their toilets?
Yeah, and blast them.
That's like, if you have more than 2 guys, that's going to be a real problem. And even then, it's like, okay, the Mist, I'm going to open this to give you your food. Promise not to become a Mist. What are we going to do with that? What are we going to do with that?
Yeah, I know, and a cop knows that it's going on. He knows they're running an unlicensed prison.
There's got to be, you know what?
Although, you know, privately owned prisons are very hot right now,
Very
so,
hard.
you know.
But they have ways to get out of it. You know, we know, we've heard that like Ted Kord's going to be coming on the show.
Yes.
He's like a multi-millionaire Bruce Wayne type. He might be able to do something with that. And if memory serves, over time in the comics, I think Iron Heights develops its own prison cells for these people. So, but initially it's going to be interesting to see. I want to see the minutia of it. I think is my point.
And my favourite part of the show so far is that they're tying each sort of storyline into each other. So I mean, you're not digressing away from Joe and his separate travels. Like, Joe's going to see the Flash's father, and at the same time the Mist is coming to try and kill him there. So you're all intertwined. I don't believe that his father wouldn't notice his son. So as he looks there, that mask, I thought that was going to be the idea of like, oh, I know that's my son out there, but it's kind of toying with it. Does he or does he not?
Well, he vibrates so fast that his dad can't
oh, is
see
that what
his
he
face.
does?
Yeah.
I was wondering if that was my screen. I don't know.
No.
That's the thing for the comics.
Like if because no one who knows him is gonna like go, oh, you're not Barry Allen. Of course, you're wearing a mask.
Okay.
It's like he just vibrates so fast.
I'm gonna predict this now. At some point in the season, we're going to get the scene where he tells Iris, "I'm the Flash, and I love you." That's going to be a twofer.
I can see that.
They're really. Here's the thing, though. When you're gonna do any show, and if you want to see the example of this, watch The Newsroom. Any show where you have 2 characters who are obviously destined to be together from episode 1, you're going to keep them apart for like 3 seasons. You have to. And I think what's going to happen, he's going to tell her I love her, but it's going to be at exactly the wrong time.
Right, no, I'm not saying they're going to get together. I'm just saying that he's going to deliver both of those nuggets of information in the same conversation.
Quite probably, yes. But I do think they're going to find some probably somewhat enjoyably contrived way to keep them apart. Like, it's right after like Eddie Thawne asked her to marry her, and she's like, oh, I just can't. And then he's going to turn out to be evil and kill her dad or something. I don't know. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, that we're stuck with that, and we're still dealing with that on Arrow after 3 seasons. It's funny.
So much to look forward to.
Yay.
Join us next week, won't you?
Won't you?
Please do.